You think you're doing your plants a favor, but actually you're drowning them. Overwatering is the #1 gardening mistake I've heard in 40 plus years on the radio, and most people don't even know that they're doing it. Yellowing leaves, wilting in wet soil, mystery mushrooms. I'm revealing the 5 telltale signs that your garden is begging you to stop. So stick around because I fix gardening problems. So hit like and subscribe so your garden never suffers in silence again. Let's grow. Let's take a look at the 5 signs that you're overwatering your garden. Overwatering is one of the most common gardening mistakes that can lead to root damage, disease, and poor plant performance. And it's actually one of the #1 questions that I have gotten on the radio over the last 40 years. They'll always ask me, am I overwatering my plants? And the second I hear that, I'm telling you right now, you've already answered your question. But I'm glad that you're asking anyhow, because then I can probe into the question a little bit more to find out what's going on. So there's a lot of things that we have to look at to find out, well, we'll just look at the top 5 right now, to find out whether you're doing that. The first off would be yellowing leaves. Yellowing leaves is one of the earliest signs of overwatering. It's especially to the lower foliage. When you see that lower foliage starting to turn yellow on you, which by the way usually is the older growth, kind of interesting, huh? That right there will kind of give you an idea that, hey, things are happening over here. Excess water limits the amount of oxygen that is available to the soil. It causes stress and nutrient deficiency and problems. Yellowing is caused by overwatering, is often accompanied by soft, limp leaves rather than dry, crispy foliage. And also, most gardeners make the mistake and they just start adding more water, figuring that that's not the problem. They're going to add more when in fact what it does is that it actually worsens the problem. So they need oxygen around their roots just as much as they need the water. So you have to just really be careful. We want our soil to be moist, but not wet, not saturated, whether it's a house plant or whether it's an outdoor plant. We've got to keep these things in mind. Now, wilting, despite the wet soil, plants can even wilt when the soil is saturated because damaged roots can't absorb the water properly. So root systems begin to rot consistently in waterlogged soil conditions. So we have to check that soil moisture in the water instead of relying on the plant appearance. It's really important. You know, when you have a vegetable garden, we usually say, I get out there and scratch within the first 2 inches. If it's dry, then, give it some water. But if it's not, leave it alone. That's just an overall kind of fun thing to say. So getting out there and checking it is really important, because wilting from overwatering often feels soft and mushy compared to drought kind of conditions. So root and rot and fungus thrive in an oxygen poor soil created by excessive irrigation. So you really got to stay on top of it, which brings us to our next point. We have mold, we have fungus, and fungus doesn't mean that it's fun whatsoever, or we'll have algae growth. So excess moisture creates the ideal conditions for fungal diseases and algae development. So white mold, mushrooms, green algae on the soil, the surface are very common signs of this. And it's also telling us that things are rotting because you have organic matter inside the soil. That's what's rotting, the actual organic matter. Got to really wonder that. So poor air circulation combined with this, it's another thing that increases because of excessive watering. And then you start getting your diseases. So you really need to allow the soil surface to dry between watering, because this helps reduce any kind of fungal growth. And mushrooms in particular, mushrooms come in garden beds, and that's often indicates that it's a high watering combined with excess moisture. So if you just walk out there and you see these shrooms out there, you get to think, oh man, something's going on. This is too much. I can't do this. So shrooms, not a good thing. And don't eat those mushrooms, by the way, because you never know if those mushrooms are actually poisonous. You have to have such a keen eye to tell whether or not it's a poisonous mushroom or not. There's so many of them that are poisonous. You have to be careful. People who go out foraging, even with keen eyes, can tell that, hey, something's wrong. All right, next would be stunted growth or root problems. So overwatering plants can often grow really slowly. If you're wondering why your plant isn't taking off, it could be because your soil is soggy. Is it sitting in a pot and there's a saucer underneath it, and that saucer has stagnant water sitting there? You got something going on there that shouldn't be there. The roots are deprived because of oxygen, deprived because of lack of oxygen. So I hope you're understanding that there's a theme going on here, right? With weak, brown, or decayed roots, right? The roots should be bright and white. That's what they should be. You could probably even get away with tan roots, but even then, they're not designed to do that. They want to be white and bright. And also, nutrient deficiencies become more common because of damaged roots. They cannot absorb any of the what do you call it? The nutrients that are in there because of damaged roots. So compacted also and poorly drained soils increases the rumor of chronic overwatering damage. And healthy roots, as I mentioned, are white and they're bright and they're firm, and they just think of, just think that when they're looking that way, your plant probably isn't going to be having any problems. You got to remember, we're doing all this proactively. All right. Now, increased pest and density activity, always a big thing. Overwatered gardens attract pests. You're going to have fungus gnats, and inside the house, ooh, that's absolutely horrible. Outside, you're going to get more slugs. You're going to get mosquitoes. Excessive moisture encourages plant diseases like powdery mildew, root rot, and blight. Weak stressed plants become more vulnerable to insect infestations. So watering early in the morning helps foliage dry a whole lot faster, reduces any problems like the powdery mildew. So really jump on that, because many garden diseases spread more rapidly in those wet conditions. So proper watering practice are essential for a healthy garden growth, and maintaining the soil moisture improves drainage, and watering only when needed. Prevent overwatering problems to support stronger plants. And one of the best ways to do this is, of course, to get a moisture meter. They're cheap and cheesy, and at the store you can get one for under $30 that are really pretty good. Figure out how to use that thing. Moisture meters are great. You can also just grab some soil, and when you take and you crunch it down that, and if you got water coming out of it, it's oversaturated. If you don't, then and it crumbles a little bit when you open your hand, you know that your soil is okay. Think of a moist sponge. That's how your soil should always be, not saturated, dripping with water, and push it out, especially if it's with containers. If you got a saucer underneath, dump that saucer after you've watered the plants. They don't need to be watered like that from underneath. It's only there to catch the water. It's not there to put moisture back into the plants. And as a bonus, another way that you can tell that if your plants are overwatered is if the tips of the leaf are dying and they look like they're brown, somebody put a match to it, dying back like that. It could mean overwatering or underwatering, but chances are it is overwatered.